Stages 17 and 18, we're about to do 17, involve fitting the axles to the chassis, and 18 fits the shock absorbers. I've already took out all the parts that I need, so let's get building. Try and do it the way around that they show it, makes life a little bit easier, and it is the correct way up. Jolly good. First thing we need to do is put the shock absorber hangers on the top of these. Make sure you get this is a common mistake some people make when they're fitting these. There's two on the back, is they put this on the wrong way round, which can cause problems, excuse me. Now it's showing the screws at the front. You know, look for the clues, and it's showing the bulbous piece that side. So screws and bulbous piece. Chassis the right way up, which it is. So that goes on there like that. Not difficult if you follow the instructions. Need two of those, and we need 4 of these extra long 20mm screws, because they're going to go all of the way through these brackets, through these and into these here. That's going on like that, so I'm just going to leave that there. Let's do a bit of trusty thread lock. Come on, 1, 2, decided to come out quick now, 3, 4, might as well do more while I'm here, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So, oops, the daisy, throwing the screws everywhere now. Keep that the way we want. Butterfingers, blimey, keep still. Make sure you put the hangers on the right way around as well. I'm going to put those through there first. Like that. They go in there, like so. Same again with this one. And they go in there, like so. And that is going to sit on top of there. So, line your screws up. Might not be if I had a screwdriver at hand. Don't get coming out, stay where you are. First screw to go into that mounting hole, which is there. That one's gone in. The other one usually lines up okay. Good, they've gone in. Not doing them up tight just yet. As with other things, line your stuff up first if there's multiple screws before you pull them up tight. That one's gone straight in, that was nice. That looks good. Don't need to be massively tight. You've got thread lock on them, remember. That's the first one done. Okay. In the case of the second one now, this one obviously goes with that at the back, but if we look at the diagram, the bulbous part on this one is on this side. So if we look at these, they are going to be like that. One way, one the other way, as per the diagram. Again, screws facing forwards. So start with 2 of these and 4 screws. Well, I pull, aha! I'm going to say that's not the right length screw. See how easy it is to pick up a wrong length screw. There's two there, look, and they're not the same length. There's the four long ones that we need. I suspect you'd notice that anyway. They wouldn't reach the metal bracket underneath. One, two, in there. One, two in there. And they're going to go on these here. I'll start this side. Just line the screws up as best I can. It doesn't look far out. I'll work left-handed here just to get it started. Has that gone in there? That has actually gone in there. I didn't think it had. Just get it roughly, tighten that up, undo it. Go. Make sure the other one goes in as well. Good. This side now. Go in there. That's it. Always be careful not to cross thread. If you start to screw and it you suddenly feel resistance, that's a clue that you've got it cross threaded. Back it out and try again, lest you want to wreck the thread. There we are. Those two are now in place, complete with the spring hangers. Right, the next part of 17 is to fit these. These will hold the axles in place. God, they're going to work then. There's just two different sorts, F6s and F7s. I don't know whether you can see it, but once again I've just marked them up, number 7s and number 6s, because once you cut them off the sprues it's difficult to know which one's which. They're held in place with these, which should be familiar now, and one other thing you've got to do when you do this is make sure that the little drive shaft goes in here. I'm going to take it out again in a sec because it needs greasing, but if you don't put that in first, when you put these items on here you can't move the axles far enough to get that in. So first things first, we do this. This is a part that's going to move quite a lot, so I'm putting quite a lot of grease on it. Okay, start on the one side and put it in, and then put my grease on there for what it's worth. Put it in there. Just try and balance them for the moment. At least once that's in you can forget about it. I'm just going to do one side and that'll hold it in place. If we do this side here, it starts with an F7 nearest me. That one's marked up as a 7, and it goes with that raised portion this end. If it helps, the ones that have got an extra collar on the end go to this bracket here. So there we are. And we use on this one MA5s, which are the longer one of two. I've got two different ones in here. You can actually see a difference in material colour as well, but it's the longer ones. So MA5s go in the middle. It's MB2s, it's the little ones that go on the outside. So one of those. What's it held on with? Locking nut MB3. So here we go. So we can do the first one. Pop it in the middle and locking nut on the back. So that goes in there. Try not to move it because of the axle in the middle. Come on, you devil. That's on. While we're here, we're going to do the bigger one in the middle. This one's slightly longer because the plastic is longer through here. And that will go in there like that. And the ones in the middle have, yeah, they have these on with thread lock, so I'm not going to put that on just yet. Let's find a 6 to go on the back, which will go in these two in place, because it'll stop the drive shaft from dropping out then. Come on. We're on, I think we're on, no we're not. Come here. Being awkward you are. Let's just do these middle two. And turn it round for that. No I'm not, because I want screws this side, thinking about it. There we go. Didn't have to squeeze the tube that time, blimey. These can go up tight. They're threaded on the back so they grip on their own, which is nice. Because they're collared screws, they do up tight but don't affect the plastic parts. There we go. So, I guess won't come out. Let's just do these up. That's the whole of the one side done then, isn't it? That's it, make sure that goes right in. The collar wasn't in. There we go. Done up, done up, done up, done up. Now we'll repeat the process on the other side. The front has an F6, which is that one, and we'll go in like that. Jolly good. We want a short one and a long one. We want a lock nut, and we want a flange nut. Let's just do the flange while we're here. Let's go and have a little bit of glue on the back of it. There we go. We can do this one up tight because it doesn't hold the plastic. Pop that one in there. After these two parts, we start on the gearbox, which I know from comments I've received is a part that scares the bejeebus out of some people. I've never been bothered doing the gearbox. It's intricate, it's complex, but if you just follow the instructions and just take your time, make sure you know all your parts up front and where they go, it just goes together without a problem. Famous last words. We'll we'll be covering that off very soon. And then that will literally, well, that will be the whole of the powertrain completed then. Two nuts. So they've got a grub screw in there, and I was just wondering why. I probably must have brought out more than I needed. Tamiya do give you some spares on the small parts, which is just as well. I have had instances where they've pinged across the room and I've not been able to find them. Until you vacuum up a few days later and you go, ah, there it is. There's no trouble with magnetic screws, isn't it? They can come out as quick as they can go in. Try again. Let's try. There we go. That one's done up tight. That one's done up tight. There we go. And you'll notice that, I'll just show you that, we put 2 pieces of rubber on in stage 12, I think it was, these two here, and they match the 2 pieces of plastic. I don't know whether you can see that on the back of there, bump stops if you like, for the axle. I do think the springs on Tamiya are a bit too strong, as do others. In fact, some people, I know one chap who regularly writes to me actually takes one of the leaves out of there and re-rivets it to make it slightly less strong. Anyway, that's 17 complete. We'll now move on to 18. I was keeping it the same way around. And what we've got to do with 18 is fit these 4 shocks. That's all we've got to do. So, let's sort out screws that we want. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 15mm screws. There should be a further 2 MB2s, which are the small ones, and there should be 4 MB3s, which is the larger lock nut. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there should be 4 damper collars, which aren't magnetic. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be all of the parts we want. 1, 2, 3, 4 items, yep, and the shock absorbers themselves. I'll try to put the shock mounting on the right way around this time as well. Any thread lock with any of these? Bottom ones have got thread lock into the chassis. The top ones are right. So we'll just work out what else we need. We need these parts F5. Yep. There's 4 little parts we need here. That's these mounting plastic parts for the bottom of the shock absorbers. There's 2 on each of these sprues. Get yourself a pair of these with the flat on the back, not angled in but flat. An absolute godsend, because you can cut cleanly flush with the plastic, and then you haven't got to use a knife or something to trim it flat. You know, or if you want a perfect job, you'd file it anyway, but as you can see, those are pretty darn flat. There you go. That's 4 of those done. I'll leave that over there out the way. These will fit, they've got like a peg and then the screw in the bottom, and they go in there at an angle, and so you've got one in there, and then over here you've got one here. So let's just put a bit of thread lock on the screw holes to start with, and they're the bigger holes at the bottom. There's one. Come on, just a touch more and go. Do. So, here we go. We need a screw. And these, and one of these. You put the bolt through there. You put that on the back. It sits in there. That goes into there, like so. Locates into this hole here. So I'm going to try and do, if I can find where it is. That's where it goes, just there. Doesn't need to be massively tight, and that will go in there, and that's held in with an MB2, one of these. So we get all the way through, and a lock nut. Do that with a little spanner. Nut drivers are very useful, but sometimes you can't get them in. One shock absorber done. Repeat. Rinse and repeat, as they say. So one of those, one of those, one of those, and a pin. Through there. Through there, like that. I think you can just actually get the thread started before you need to locate the plastic. Yeah, that's useful. Plastic in place. Located in the hole, which it is. There we go. Doesn't need to be massively tight, it's got thread lock on it. One of these and one of these. This is exciting. We've almost got the back suspension done. There we go. Do that, and that is the one side completed. Next part. Oops, a daisy, just drop that. It's all going so well. Just pop this into the hole here, get it started if we can. There we go, we're started. Get the plastic part in to there and do it up. Make sure that's not in the way there, so you could damage the shock absorber. that's that one. In here we put, did I not get enough of those out? Dear, dear, dear. 4 of those, not 2. One. 2. I'll have a quick look at my camera and make sure I've got plenty of time left on it, otherwise I'll be talking to myself. I've still got 14 minutes. I use a, if you're interested to know, a Nikon Z6 camera, which I've had for a year or 2. Cracking camera. So I mainly use for stills photography. Some photography is my main hobby, but it also happens to have a very useful 4K video camera as well. I mean, I could do this in 4K, I've had a look at it, but the file sizes are enormous. I think I'd spend half a day uploading the darn things just to get a little bit of better quality. Although, as you know, there's plenty of people on the net that do 4K videos. Perhaps they've got a higher upload speed than I have. I find 1920 by 1080 is fine. More than adequate for what I'm showing you guys. Go on, get in there, thank you. Or should I say go on rather than go on? Sorry, I am from Birmingham as a child in the Midlands, and I still have some of the mannerisms. Do my best to lose them, but hey ho. There we go. That is stage 18 complete. So the whole of this is up, and look how lovely and smooth that is. No sort of rough spots or hard points or anything like that. Turns beautifully. Those turn beautifully. Those turn beautifully. If you've got hard spots, chances are those gears in there have got a little bit of bedding in to do.